Hey guys, it's week 38. I've got some exciting news to share about my marketplace efforts, and Dropboard is just about ready to exist as a standalone app. Let's get into it. First of all, the great news. Shopify has accepted Dropboard into their marketplace. So if you've been following me for the past couple of weeks, you know this has been a really frustrating experience, and I'm just really glad that I'm now in the marketplace live, ready for purchase. There's been no magic traffic bump yet. People didn't magically just start showing up on my app. You never know with those kinds of things, so you always kind of cross your fingers. Truth is, it didn't happen. But I have an app live, ready to go, ready for people to pay me. Shopify customers have their payment method stored on their profile, so it makes it very easy for them to purchase products like mine. So I'm in a very good position. And on other marketplace news, Wix came back from their review of my app, and they just had one really small marketing change that I need to make. So that should be very straightforward, and I should be able to get into their app store very soon. So now that I've been through this, what do I think about developing apps for these types of marketplaces? So the main thing I'm happy about with the marketplaces is I've got a new place for my products to live. A new marketing channel, new funnel for customers to find and pay for my app. I also have a really clear way of building new apps for Wix and Shopify. Now that I've been through this process, I've been approved, I can reuse all that code and new apps will be much, much faster to develop. I'm always going to keep my ear open for customer problems that I see from these platforms and see if I can create a product that solves those problems. So that's something that I basically just got in the bank ready to go. I've got a lot of work ahead of me to market Dropboard in general, but having a spot in these two marketplaces gives me some niches that I could focus on. And also having Dropboard in marketplaces shows that it's a serious product. The other big thing this week is that I finished Dropboard as a standalone SaaS app. So I haven't finished the marketing yet. I haven't kind of deployed it yet, but all the functionality of Dropboard now works as its own app. And part of that process was building billing for the first time in this journey. So I'm using Stripe. It's my favorite platform for development. And they have a really nice low-code solution for managing billing. You have to pay them a 0.5 transaction fee for all your sales, but they control all the user experience for selecting a plan, canceling a plan, updating your credit card, updating your billing information, viewing invoices, and all of that. Ultimately, it took me about 1 day to develop that integration with Stripe. So it saved me a ton of time. And this is a brilliant idea on their part because I can take this 0.5 transaction fee now. It doesn't hurt at all because I don't have any transactions. As I grow and I start realizing, hey, you know what? I could probably save about $1,000 or something like that. That's when I'll develop all this user experience that Stripe's doing for me and save on those transaction fees. I settled on $19 a month for my price point for Dropboard, and with a 21% discount for yearly. I really want to push people to yearly. I wanted to do something that wasn't too expensive so that I could eliminate price as a reason that people don't buy. But I still wanted a strong enough price to show that there's real value in this product. Honestly, I wanted to do $29 a month. I think that's the real price point I want to hit. But in this early phase of the product, I just don't think there's enough feature set to justify that dollar amount. And the other thing is my product is an org level product that doesn't scale its price with number of seats. So I can't be too cheap because when an organization buys this, they're going to get it for the whole company. That all being said, I can always raise prices and I can always add higher plans. There's a lot of ideas I've got for making Dropboard a bigger platform. So first, we're really just looking for validation of customers and getting some traction and word of mouth growth. I went with a 7-day free trial without a credit card required. I feel like with a product like Dropboard, where you have to install it on your website, it's really easy to install, but I think people need a free entry so that they can make sure that it actually works for them and see the power of Dropboard for themselves before they actually make their purchasing decision. So a 7-day free trial I think is plenty to just test it out and see how it works. So what's left for Dropboard before I can actually get this out the door? I've got to make a tutorial video. I've got to make a promo video, which I can heavily borrow from the ones I made for Wix and Shopify. So that should be pretty easy. And then I got to plug that tutorial promo video into the site. I've already finished designing the landing page. It's based on the Runicorn page I have today, and it also is based on the Wix and Shopify landing pages, but it's going to be specialized for Dropboard as a standalone app. I just need to implement that, so that won't take too long. And then I've got to do a final round of testing, and then I can push it out there. Okay, so let's dig into a Dropboard demo here. I've already showed you guys the job listings from last week, so let's dig into the job boards piece a bit. So I had some of this functionality already written last week, but the big addition this week is being able to customize your job boards, design and text in real time. So this is something I borrowed heavily from my implementation on Shopify and my implementation on Wix. On the right here, you have the ability to very quickly change the color scheme and the background color of the page if you want to, and change the design. Like you can change the padding, you can change the text that displays. So the button text, you can customize that to your preferences. And people can interact with this just as if it was on their real website. So they can really get a feel for how this is going to look. They can even submit a fake application and see the thank you text at the end. So I've created these ways for people to create multiple job boards to customize different sets of colors, different sets of text, so that they can use them and try out different versions of that. And then on the settings page, you needed some basic settings like changing your email address, and I borrowed a lot of that from Snapchat, which had already written, and you need to be able to delete your account. But for Dropboard, you also need to be able to have your team members join you. So as an administrator, somebody who signs up for Dropboard, you have the ability to invite your teammates to create their own jobs, use the job boards, customize the job boards, install them. So that way it makes it really easy for somebody to just send an invitation to their web person so that they can install this, or they can send it to another hiring manager and let them manage their jobs. And then the last piece that needed to happen was billing. So as I mentioned, I'm using Stripe to manage all the billing. So all I really need to display is a couple of different states of information. So in my design here, I basically got a couple of different states to manage. So when they have an active plan, or if they have an active plan that's not renewing, or if they're in their free trial, or if they just don't have a plan at all. So those are the states that I needed to manage and give the person a way to choose between monthly or yearly. And then when I click on manage billing, this is what happens. It takes them to Stripe's user interface for dealing with this. And they can renew the plan, cancel the plan, edit their payment methods, edit their billing information, even view their invoices. The other thing I needed to build was the free trial limitation. So showing your free trial days left in the banner that's very easy to see at all pages. And then when it does expire, having a banner across the whole thing that says it's time to purchase a plan. And then also I needed to tweak how Dropboard actually embeds in your website so that if you're not a paying customer and your trial has expired, you don't get it for free. I have some miscellaneous updates I'd just like to share. One is I think I'm going to shut down MailChimp. It's a monthly expense that's costing me $17 a month. I set it up for when I launched Snaptro as a drip email campaign for any customers that came into Snaptro. They'd get a series of emails over the time of their account. Well, no one's really using Snaptro right now, and I don't have an immediate way of pushing Snaptro. Snaptro is just a bit on hold right now, so I'm just wasting that $17 a month. Another miscellaneous update is that Runicorn, which is the basically foundation for how Dropboard works. If you look at my past videos, you'll see a little more detail about this. It's getting really sophisticated. It's basically the technology that lets me embed things on people's websites very seamlessly. It's actually gotten quite involved and really powerful. I am definitely in a position where creating new apps like Dropboard that hook into people's websites will be much, much easier. So that's another thing that I'm keeping my ear open for, customer problems that I can solve. I can reuse this technology and it can be very fast to market. And then also December is an interesting month. It's just a slow month for business activity in general. You got a lot of people going out of town. You got different buyer decisions that would have to wait for somebody to come back from vacation. I'm going to use this opportunity to slow down a little bit, think more about how I can position myself, and think more about how I can market Dropboard. For instance, is it time to start building some SEO content? I've basically been trying to get around SEO by trying to just get customers by hitting the streets, but that has not gone so well. So maybe it's time to rethink how I approach SEO. I also have a ton of marketing articles that I've tagged for reading later because I've been so busy with all this marketplace development. And then I'm thinking, what can I do to prep myself for a strong January? So if December is not going to be very strong just innately, what can I do to set myself up? So working on those marketing ideas, reading more about strategies and resources that I can use to do a better job, prep for an AppSumo launch and a Product Hunt launch. We all know how Product Hunt did not work well for me already, but it's still a good place to get something launched. And an AppSumo deal for Dropboard makes a lot more sense than an AppSumo deal for Snaptro did. That's an avenue I haven't had a chance to try yet. Like I told you guys many weeks before, AppSumo really worked well for Mailshake. That's how we got our big seed of first users. We got a ton of word of mouth growth from that. I also have a handful of potential customers that I've talked to already about Dropboard that I'd like to reach back out to now that it's a full-fledged app. There's a little bit of hope of getting somebody hooked up and ready to go with this by January. And then also just kind of taking some time to relax a little bit. I think this whole journey is just tough, and December is a good opportunity to cool down a bit, not stress quite as much as I have in the past weeks, and just do a little more long-term thinking. Okay, you guys, that's it for this week. Next week, I will definitely have Dropboard live and ready for people to actually sign up. And I'm also really confident that I'm going to get into the Wix store with Dropboard next week. So thank you guys for following my journey. Tell your friends, and I will see you next week.